Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Guys, welcome to 2024. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, where we put the rump in your stump.
I thought it was the other way around. Well, you guys figure it out out there.
We put the dance in your pants.
Yes.
We put the glass right into place where the sun don't shine, but it shines bright every night. Because you're with the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. And I'm not black. Those of you that are just listening and can't see me.
I just noticed that.
I know. In the spirit,
Holy cow.
in the spirit of equal opportunity, we can't afford to hire a black guy. So I just pretend to be one once in a while.
Okay. All right, then.
We have to have representation.
Sure.
I'm sure everything I said there right now will probably get me fired from the internet tomorrow. We're just having some fun. Everybody lighten up. Calm down.
Lighten up. Simmer,
having a little fun.
Down now.
Simmer down.
Come on.
Simmer down. Nah. As the famous lady used to say.
That she is very
famous.
famous.
I want to do that so bad to people sometimes. I want to go
simmer
down. No, simmer down now.
As somebody who does
tell me to simmer down.
It's rewarding. Because I can do it where I work.
Simmer down.
Simmer down now.
Well, you are a cook, so when somebody tells you to simmer down, you're literally simmering down.
I never made the connection until just now. See
how it is? Yeah. These are the things, the enlightenment you receive each time you tune in to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, where, quite frankly, guys, we love all y'all. We're going to have a really good time.
That's right.
My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. Mr. Pittsburgh is here in the co-pilot's chair. I'm going to get a T-shirt that says, Mr. Pittsburgh is my co-pilot. There you are.
I like it.
There's some T-shirts.
I like it.
T-shirts right there. We get right on that merch. Speaking of merch and all that fun stuff, go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. You can find out about all the cool stuff there. RockRageRadio.com. Download the free app. And don't forget to find Wolf's Customs.
Wolfie.
On social media, wolfscustoms.online for great custom artwork done on your musical instrument.
Yes.
And it is musical instrument. I wasn't making an innuendo.
No.
A double entendre.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
It has to be a musical instrument.
I went on a journey. I went down a rabbit hole one time, like trying to find the innuendo versus double entendre, and I went down a whole thing with that.
Yeah.
Don't ask me now. It was one of those things. Like it's like that useless knowledge. You go, I could look this up on the internet. And you look it up, and then 5 minutes later, you don't remember.
Yeah. What was I looking up?
Yeah, exactly.
I know I looked it up. What is it? What's going on?
So we are. It is.
Who am I?
It is. Happy New Year, everybody! It is 2024. This is.
This is not my beautiful house.
This is my beautiful podcast, and it is 2024. This is January 1st, so it is New Year's Day.
Yeah, it is New Year's Day.
So happy New Year's to everybody out there. We're getting ours off to a bang. They say what you do on New Year's, you will be doing all year long. So we're doing a podcast. We're talking about music, and that sounds like what we do every year, all year long.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're gonna stay the course.
Continue the tradition. I don't make like big resolutions, or I don't really do stuff like that. Only thing I do try to do is one thing I will say about 2023. I know that some people are going to be like, what are you talking about? But I had a blast. And my goal is for 2024 is to continue to have a bigger blast, to have even more fun than I had in 2023. That is the secret to happiness, my friends. Just keep finding ways to have fun. Always try to find a way to create a good feeling in yourself. You can't maintain it 24/7. We can't be bouncing off the walls 24. That's not how it works. But just overall, try to anytime you can find something to feel kind of cool about. Don't just plaster a smile on your face.
No.
Yeah, I'm happy. No, I mean actually find something to think about that makes you feel good. Think about your cat. Think about your kids. Think about some great music.
Cats.
Your kids' cats. Think about Kit Kat candy bars, whatever you like. And just spend a little time doing that.
Look,
we'll transform your life. I promise you.
I'm going to quote a great man, and the quote is this: "Have a good time all the time."
Exactly.
Words to live by.
Yep.
Thank you, Viv. Viv Savage.
Viv Savage.
Viv.
Jig Jag.
We both screwed up the band's name.
Viv Savage.
Oh, wow.
From the band Spinal Tarp.
Spinal
Tarp. I want to say what a fan we all are of your music. Well, I don't mean yours specifically. I just mean the overall pop genre.
That's great. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
So will we get the show started like at 0500? What does it mean? Like
So
we have like 18 hours?
now? Yeah.
Like a half an hour. Oh.
Love it.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway, so it's tonight. I want to talk about some predictions.
Ooh.
I did a little bit of research and mixed with my own sort of like observations. I want to kind of give you some predictions for 2024. I don't think we've ever really done this before. I thought it was something different, and it's all in good fun.
Sure.
Of course, if my predictions are right, then I'm a genius. If none of them are right, then I'm just kidding.
Psych! You thought I was serious. Nope. Just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Just funning with you.
I don't mean nothing by it.
Simmer down now.
So, what did we get up to over the? It's been a couple of weeks. We didn't do one last week because I needed like just turn it off. So what did we?
Well, remember when we first met John McClane? Argyle picked him up from the plane.
Okay.
Took him down to Nakatomi Plaza.
Taught him how to rock.
Yeah. Christmas Eve. Was it Christmas Eve?
Yes.
We hung out. Me and the great Loudini hung out as we do and watched the best Christmas movie ever, Die Hard. That was fun. And then I was talking about how on the social medias that people are freaking out about this new movie called Saltburn. So Loudini says, because we are both cinephiles, why don't we...
Maybe you should tell people what a cinephile is.
Somebody who loves movies, you weird perverts.
You know, like...
I mean, really loves movies. I mean, they get all up in the movies. Anyway, so Lou's like, well, I have the streaming thing. Why don't we watch it? I'm like, okay, let's see what is so disturbing about this movie. The thing that was disturbing about this movie was that there was nothing really disturbing about it. Now, you may say, no, there was some disturbing things. There were some interesting scenes, but Lou, Dini.
Yes.
First name Lou, second name Dini. You and I, like I said, are big fans of movies, and we've seen some very interesting and albeit disturbing films in the past. There was nothing in this movie that could have topped some of the shit we've seen in the past.
Here's what I will say about, and I know why people say it was disturbing.
Yes.
Is that it does have, there's at least two scenes that I will say, I've never seen that in a movie ever before. You know what I mean? This is like, okay, all right. So, and they are both scenes that do make you go like, kind of ooh, or like, a little like kind of cringy, like,
sure.
Well, no, the one definitely is.
With the
out in the
garden?
No.
In the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't want to tell people. But I don't want
I don't want to.
It's a new
but
movie.
just saying the word bathroom, people are not like,
yeah, they're gonna what's happening to the bathroom. Yeah. So
that
that is and there's people reacting to it on TikTok and all kind of stuff like that. And a student at Oxford University finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic classmate who invites him to his eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer never to be forgotten. And that is, that happens.
Sure, yeah.
But that doesn't really tell you anything about the movie. It is combination psychological thriller, black comedy.
Yeah.
The movie, I think, lacks energy for the first 30 minutes. In fact, around that time, we were going like,
should we continue this?
It's a little like, what's going, it feels like a little...
But being the movie buffs we are, we knew it was happening.
So we hung out. So Mr. Pittsburgh said, let's give it just a little bit. And like, it's minute 32. All of a sudden, it's like somebody stepped on the gas.
Yep.
And the movie really kind of takes off. And it becomes very entertaining pretty much to the end.
Right.
and you kind of know exactly where it was going either. I mean, I won't be like, well, I've seen something new.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what was going to happen. Blah blah blah. No, I thought they did a good job of creating some mystery.
Right.
I thought that it was it has a couple of different twists.
Yeah.
It's not so twisty like some of these
Like,
stories like that. It's
on
like, no, but look over there, and then guess what? He's actually a werewolf. But no, he's not really a werewolf. He's actually a dog. No, he's not really a dog. He's your grandmother. Whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's some of these stories that have to get so stupid. It isn't like that. It isn't like that.
Yes.
But there's some twists and some, turnarounds and switchbacks. Like it's kind of going this way. Like, oh no, we're going to go over here for a minute. But it's very well acted, very well shot. It's the cinematography in it. I'll even say stunning. It's really good.
Yeah.
These actors, this Barry Coogan, who is. You guys, have you seen him in The Killing of the Sacred Deer?
Right.
Yes. He's great in that. He's in this. He just got this he's something fucked up with his face. You know what I mean? Like, he's not ugly, but he's got some kind of like very striking something going on with his face.
Yeah.
And
it's a bit androgynous. I thought
maybe androgynous.
Yeah.
At
first I'm like,
I'm going to say something, and please do not cancel me or be mad at me. Okay, but I'm just saying that, like,
parents, get your kids out of the room.
When I very first saw him, just to a picture, didn't know who he was. I thought he was maybe even partially, mildly Down syndrome kind of person.
Yeah, he has a very interesting.
He has a kind of like, and Barry, I love you. I think you're amazing. But that was like a sort of just quick thought that I had. So he's meaning that, like, he has an unusual kind of features. He's not ugly or anything like that. He's got like a really unique face, and he'll probably get cast a lot, and it seems to be happening for him.
Yeah.
He seems to be getting cast in some really cool shit because of that. Like, he's got part of that is, film is a visual thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
you want something to catch the viewer's attention.
Yes. So sometimes there's a lot of, there was a lot of films, I think, over the years that I watched that I think forgot, like, what, this would be so much better, like, if you've actually made it visually interesting. Like,
right.
Don't just set a camera there. But, this is very visually stunning movie. The cast is just off. Rosamund Pike.
Oh, I love her.
And this is really what happens. When she comes into the picture at about 32 minutes, she really brings all this, like, life and excitement to, like, energy. Not excitement, energy to the story. She's really fucking great in it. I think she's a standout, and I do not know the other woman's name. The woman who plays the sister is great, but the other woman who's staying with them, she's not in it really long. But I felt like they would get rid of her too quick. Like, I thought, like, she could have been an interesting foible for the main characters, but it was already wildly interesting. Mm-hmm, and it does have a pretty big cast, and when you have something like that, you got to be you can't give everybody full time.
Oh, Annabelle was her name.
Annabelle, Sadie Soverall. So Barry Coogan, Jacob Elordi. Is that how you say it?
I like it. It'll work.
Rosamund Pike,
sure.
Richard Grant, who's been in a million things, and it's great. I'm going to say that. I just think you should watch it.
Yeah.
It's very well done. You get through the first half an hour, and then they correct the pacing. Right. I don't know what happened. I get the rest of the movie doesn't work without the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that's the setup. Like, you have to have that. And always something I always feel kind of lazy in a movie. Like, that's something I'm going to criticize it for, is like, it doesn't have to be. There's many movies that have setups, or they're able to, like, communicate to you who the characters are, what they want, what their motivations are, like, in a very kind of fun, fast kind of way.
Right.
And think of all the movies. They're like, Raiders of the Lost Ark. It doesn't take long to figure out who Indiana Jones is.
Yeah.
Boom. You know what I mean? Now, granted, that is a more simple plot than this movie. This movie has some twists and turns. This is a much deeper movie. I'm not comparing it to Indiana Jones, but there are ways to make that process just as hot as the rest of the movie. It doesn't have to be like, okay, we're going to sit and quietly twiddle our thumbs while you tell us the background. So, but other than that, and I'm overstating it. It isn't that bad. It's still really good. It's like even
Yeah,
all
I didn't
that's
hate this
beautiful.
movie. I was
yeah,
like,
even
am I
all
gonna
that's
hate this
beautifully
movie?
shot and everything. But
Yeah.
the rest of it is really picked. I think it's very good. I think
Yeah.
it's and it may end up becoming a kind of classic at some point. I think that because it is, and I think there's a lot of people who aren't as much of cinephiles as you and I are, will be more impressed with the so-called shocking moments. They'll be more impressed with some of the twists and everything like that. So if you're jaded about movies, like we are, not because we're jaded, but because we've seen so many, you know what I mean? It may not blow you away, but somebody who's not is like, you just wants to watch a good movie, you know, again, it's a slow burn. So don't, this isn't a Marvel.
No. You have to pay attention.
This isn't a Godzilla thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saltburn. That was on my list to talk about too. So anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's about it.
Saltburn. That was my big thing. I said Happy New Year to everybody. I think let's talk a little guitar. Do you guys know who Steve Morse is?
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay. Steve Morse is a he came to prominence in the 1980s as the guitarist for the Dixie Dregs.
Yeah.
And the Dixie Dregs were an interesting mix of kind of like bluegrass and progressive rock. It's like kind of what they did. They were the intersection of those two things, if you could imagine that. Steve Morse has a great heritage. He's a University of Miami graduate, and he was there at the same time that Hiram Bullock.
Oh, wow.
Jaco Pastorius.
Yes.
A lot of other famous musicians came up. Pat Metheny. We're all there. The great Rick Beato has an hour and a half with him up on YouTube. If you guys want to check it out, it's really interesting. He is an amazing guitar player. One of the things he does at the beginning of the interview is he plays a piece by himself on guitar.
Cool.
With a track. He has tracks.
Yeah.
It's something from a new project he has or something like that. But to bring it down to earth a little bit, let me back up. He's also the guitarist for Deep Purple, and he's the guitarist for Kansas. He's in Kansas and Deep Purple.
Yeah. Just side gigs. Just side gigs for him. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Sure.
He's also licensed airline
He's
pilot.
licensed to airplane.
He's licensed.
You talk gooder.
I say
He's
words.
licensed to airplane.
He's the license to drive on a plane. To drive a plane. To float a plane in the sky.
There you go. Perfect.
He can go fly a fucking kite. But he was a airline pilot for a while.
There you go. Wow. Is there anything he hasn't done?
And he has. This was the thing that now there's a lot to this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. And I actually, in full disclosure, my buddy Jason Wilcox on his podcast, he always says, in full disclosure, like anybody cares, but I haven't completed the whole interview yet.
Okay.
I've seen some of it. I haven't finished the whole thing. But he does talk about. They get into like stuff about Bach and like it's really interesting. But he talks about his guitar technique, and this is a thing that struck me from the beginning of the thing. Like he's known for having this insane picking technique.
Yes.
And I'm watching him play. He appears to be really tall, like his arms are really long. I kind of get that impression. But he's sitting down, so it's kind of hard to tell. And he has the craziest right hand I've ever fucking seen. And he's a monster. He sounds fucking great. But he was doing all these weird gymnastics with his right arm, with his right hand.
Oh, yeah?
And there were times where it looks like he completely locked the wrist, and he was like...
Just his whole
right,
arm,
like on my whole arm, or at least like really from the elbow, really hard. Like he really was just like that elbow was going. And so he finished the piece. It sounded great. It looked weird. And then as he was being interviewed by Rick Beato, he was talking about his picking technique, and he says that he has played so much. What he has done is he has worn away the cartilage in like his wrist in a couple places.
Oh wow!
And it's insanely painful for him to pick.
So that's why he's
He's like I'm not. I'm working around.
I'm no weirdo.
Loudini
may think I'm weird, but
it was really interesting. It was really interesting. It was obviously something like it was crazy.
Yeah.
But he was explaining, and then he was demonstrating like what he was doing. It's like, but there are still things that he does that like it's still causing pain. He hasn't worked around everything yet, But there's one piece that's really famous, 10,000 Notes or something like that. It's like a kind of a famous piece. I think I could be saying the piece wrong. And he always picked that with a pick. He plays it with his fingers now.
Yeah. Wow.
And he's like, yeah, man, it doesn't sound as cool, but don't worry, I'm working on it. Like, and it's so great to hear guys of that status,
right?
And of that age,
who
are like they're still working on it. They still want to there's still shit they want to do, And I love the fact that he sort of had like a little bit of a roadblock thrown in front of him, but he's like going full bore.
Yeah.
That's, music is his life. Finds a way. Once it's just not like being a plumber.
Right.
I'm in the auto repair business. I'm telling you, man, playing guitar, playing music is not like that. There's something else.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why so many people will do it for fucking free or no money.
Right. There's such a rush.
Fucking blast to do. But we're going to talk about that in a minute here when we get into our predictions for.
All right.
I think it's noteworthy. You should check it out. Steve Morse on Rick Beato. I want to talk about a couple more films. One, I'm just going to real quickly tell you, stay away from It's a Wonderful Knife.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago before Christmas. Yeah,
we talked about it before Christmas. Yeah, it was so traumatizing. Well, what it was a buddy of mine sent me a text and he's like, "Here's like 5 movies I watched recently that I think you would like," and It's a Wonderful Knife was on the list. I didn't say anything back. I said, "Check out Saltburn."
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I told him to check out.
You might actually enjoy it more than you enjoyed A Wonderful Knife.
Okay, so I want to talk about this movie right here. I wanted to get it in front of me though, so that
pull it up because we want to make sure everybody.
I say the correct.
Everybody gets their full.
I do like to do it if it's possible. But this is a movie from 1995 called Citizen X.
Okay.
Starring the amazing Stephen Ray, Donald Sutherland, and Max von Sydow.
Ooh.
Max von Sydow's part is not really. He doesn't have a lot of screen time or a lot of lines, but his part is insanely important to the story.
Okay.
Like the movie doesn't work without his character, and he plays his character. He's always great. You know Max von Sydow.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The first movie that I'm familiar with him was The Seventh Seal. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, years ago.
Yeah, where he plays chess with death on the beach. And it's fucking great.
Wait, I'm thinking of Bill and Ted too. Never mind. They're playing Battleship with Death.
Sunk my battleship. So let's talk a little wee bit about this. Stephen Ray, Donald Sutherland.
Wow.
Not Sutherland, I always call him that. But Jeffrey D. Munn, who was like, was he in Hill Street Blues or something? He was an 80s actor.
Yeah.
John Wood, that's a generic name, but you would know him. And Josh Ackland, he always plays a really piece of shit guy, and he does not disappoint.
Yeah,
he plays the head of the Gestapo.
Yeah,
is that what
that's right. I remember
the secret
him.
Police called in Soviet Union with
the SS.
No, that's
we're in the Soviet Union.
Soviet Union. What were they called?
That is the KGB.
The KGB.
Yeah, that's right.
Gestapo. He's the head of the KGB.
Gestapo.
Well, it's the same. I
mean, you got me all excited with Gestapo there.
I
love Gestapo, especially if it's cold. Wait, that's not the word.
Gestapo, a dish best served cold. Maybe we could create a food line.
Yes.
We'll create something called Gestapo.
Gestapo's,
You're a cook. Get on it.
Gestapo's restaurant. Hey, well, come on down, Gestapo's restaurant.
No, it's just going to be a dish that we're going to
just
sell.
A dish?
Yeah, we'll get one of those companies that delivers food to people's houses.
There you go.
Send them out a big tub of Gestapo. Do you one of my favorite YouTube channels is Fanboy Flicks. This guy, Weird Movies with Mark. He's really good.
Yeah.
This guy is a comedian and a film buff, and he combines the two things really. Like Space Ice is another one he does.
Yes, I like him too. Yeah.
But his latest video was on the movie The Stuff. Did you see The Stuff?
I don't think I have.
I think Garrett Morris is in it. Fucking off the hook. It is a kind of homage to The Blob. It's from 1980.
Okay.
It's a movie that Rich Morris and I went to go see.
Really?
Yeah.
The Stuff.
But yeah, it's kind of like The Blob. It's called The Stuff.
All right. Then.
But I don't know how we ended up on The Stuff. But anyways, I was watching Weird Movies with Mark, and he does a hilarious take on that. It's up right now on YouTube. You can check it out. Cool. But anyways, back to this movie, directed by Chris Girolamo. Has that
Geronimo?
Girolamo.
Geronimo!
Geronimo!
No, I don't think that's it at all.
That's not. But anyway, it's directed by Geronimo. Your name is now Geronimo.
Congratulations, Chris.
Congratulations. During the 80s, Soviet Union's authorities hunt for a serial killer who picks his victims in railway stations and commuter trains and lures them into the woods. This is based on true events. This was Russia's most notorious serial killer.
Oh, I've seen this. It is really good.
It's very fucking good.
Wow.
This is one of those, like,
I didn't recognize
they
the
don't
name.
fucking make these movies like this anymore. And I'm just going to go ahead in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's your spoiler alert. They don't play it out like a mystery. Like, they don't know who, like,
Right.
you don't know
Right.
who did it. You know, pretty early on in the film who's doing that. That's not
Right.
what the point of the film is. What the point of the film is that, like, this fucking main character portrayed brilliantly by Stephen Ray, fucking brilliantly, he is so hamstrung by the system, like. And there's not, like, it's not like in America where we have, like, we're trying to have, like, legitimate checks and balances.
Right.
So you don't just haul people off that aren't, you know what I mean? You don't harass people, blah, 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 blah. Soviet Union, they wouldn't have a problem with that.
No.
In fact, that is their tactic.
Yeah.
Instead, but what he has, like, he wants to get access to certain tools and things that they're like the communist government's like no.
Yes.
No. And the character played by Josh Ackland, he's plays the head of the KGB person in charge of this whole thing, and he was like, there's no such thing as serial killers. This is a roving gang or something.
Yeah.
Serial killers are a product of Western capitalism. And this is what sets the tone for the rest of the movie. It is really a movie about East versus West. That's really what it's about. Because the Stephen Ray character, like, he's like, we're using techniques that are like 50 fucking years old. Like, let me call the FBI. They probably have a date. They were like, they just like, get the fuck out of here.
No.
We want the FBI to know about this?
Right.
No fucking way.
Nope.
What else does he want? He wants to bring in a psychiatrist, and it's really none of the psychiatrists
like
will work with the case
profiling.
because they're afraid
Yeah.
that's going to, like, that was a no-no. The psychiatry in the Soviet Union was very touchy. A lot of those guys were like never heard from again because if anything came out and about why is somebody depressed? Well, because it's a fucking communist country and my life sucks. Like, okay, no, you've come to the wrong conclusion. You need to go to re-education.
Yeah,
that's the kind of shit that was going on. And so there's this giant like struggle between the sort of the government and everything putting the kibosh in simple things that he wants to do that would like catch this guy. There's even a scene in the movie where they do catch him and they have to let him go, and because the KGB guy says he is a loyal member of the Communist Party.
Oh, man.
Like those guys could never do anything wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's I think that it's a good movie for people to watch today because it kind of like just makes you go like, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So before, we want to go handing all our power over to governments and stuff like that, you got to be super fucking careful about that. I'm going to promise you the world. You know what I mean? But, you just got to be super careful. But it's really, so the sort of political thriller kind of aspect to it is really good. The sort of personal drama about it's really good. There's some really tragic moments. The Soviet government says, well, this guy's obviously homosexual, so let's just arrest every homosexual we know. They just go around and do shit like that. You know what I mean? Beating up gays. It's like,
nice.
That's great. Look at Kevin Smith. There's an ad on the screen right now with Kevin Smith in it.
He
looks like,
he looks actually pretty good.
He actually looks 20 years younger than he did 20 years ago.
20 years ago, yeah.
But I highly recommend Citizen X.
I'm so glad you mentioned this because I saw this movie, and as soon as I realized this is the movie, I remember seeing it. I saw it once, and it stuck with me because it's so good. I could not remember the name of the film until just now.
Yeah,
it is. It's such a good.
Very good. What happens is that this case takes so long. It starts out in the mid '80s.
Yeah.
By the time it ends, though, the wall has come down. And then to see how things change, and so men who tiptoed around each other 6 months earlier are now telling each other to go get fucked.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can't do nothing to me now. Fuck you. You know what I mean? You're full of shit.
All right, let me write that
It's good stuff. I want to mention real quick. There's a so-so one out called The Puppetman. I'm not going to get too far into it. You might want to check out. I don't know if it's a check out or not. How do you feel about this? A movie that's like the first 2 acts are kind of meh, but it really picks up at the end.
Wait, say it again.
Yeah. Well, how would you feel about a movie where, the first 2 acts are kind of meh, but it picks up really not good at the end? The third act is good.
You have to make it for those. I mean, we almost turned off Saltburn.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know, like if it's a if that kind of thing bothers you. I think it has a solid third act, but I wouldn't. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I'm not really going to recommend it.
Okay, then.
That's too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of movies that have. I've seen this all the time. Why watch so many movies where like that's a cool scene or that's a cool whatever, but it doesn't make the movie good.
It's not the whole.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That doesn't necessarily make the movie good.
All right then.
Okay, so this is the last one I want to talk about. This is a foreign language film.
Oh, thank you.
It is called Guimoon, the lightless door.
Okay.
In a community center where a mass murder took place years earlier, involves a paranormal investigator who discovers a door to another world. Director is Sim Dok Gain.
Wow. Yeah.
I think this is Korean, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like those are Korean. Yeah, they're Korean names.
So this is a horror movie. It has some interesting things. At the heart of it, it's a kind of haunted haunted mental hospital kind, or like a haunted house kind of thing. It's an apartment.
Right,
it's not a mental hospital. It's an apartment. It's an apartment building, and but they bring in all this interesting witchcraft and things that somebody was doing, and it does a great job of jumping time periods, and it does it very quickly. I think some people will say that that's confusing. I found that it added like energy to the story. Energy must be the word for tonight.
I like it.
Added kind of energy to the story. It took something that could have just been like something we've seen a million times and made it like, oh, it was okay. You know what I mean?
Sure,
So
sure.
I would say this is solid. This is a movie if you're a horror fan and you're like, oh man, I've seen some, and you're cool with Asian horror films or foreign horror films where you have to read the subtitles or whatever. I would say give it to give it a. That is not the trailer for it, by the way. That's some.
Oh, okay.
Movie. Okay, I don't know what that is. But I would say to give it a kind of give it a shot.
Okay.
It's got a lot of cool elements. There's mystery. There's a sort of mystery that's like that's slowly kind of unfolding as the story goes. So it's not like like, oh, this monster popping out, this ghost popping out, blah blah blah. There's a kind of like, what's going on here? Why is this stuff happening? You get kind of caught up in it. I would say that it's a recommend. I would recommend that you check it out. Phil Knight says that the used guitar prices are tanking. What do you? And here's what I will say.
Where?
I think they are.
I kind of noticed too.
Check this out.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that I did not land on Reverb has come back on now.
Interesting.
Exact same. That's such and such you're watching is available now. So what happened? Did somebody buy it and like are they reselling or did people or did like the guy not have luck selling? So there was a Paul Reed Smith. I'll give an example, and there's many like this. This Paul Reed Smith SE.
Okay.
And I think it has a very cool look. Somebody modified the guitar a little bit. Okay. It's a kind of neat, like Junior meets Telly kind of vibe. It's very fun. It's Carina.
Okay, sure.
Carina with
nice.
a cool pick guard. So it's got one. It's got one single P90 in it. So it's got a real kind of retro rock and
interesting.
roll.
Okay.
Now it originally came with two P90s. these. But somebody took, and they did something with they put one of those neato. The pick guard looks vintage, but it's not. It's really well good, really well done.
Okay.
And so the guitar was sitting on Reverb in the $700 to $800 price range for like a long time, and I had been watching it for a long time, and I was like, "There's no way I'm paying that. Like $500 would be my I would pay for that." My last SE I got for under $400.
Is that the white one?
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It's a really nice guitar. Plays beautifully. It's been in a case for 3 weeks. I bet if I took it out right now, it'd probably still be in tune.
Of course.
But so I was looking at it, and I was thinking about sending a guy an offer. It was hovering around it started around like in upper sevens, then it was like kind of the upper seven. It came down to kind of like the lower sevens or something, But I was like, that's too high. I was going to think about offering him $500, and then one day I noticed the headstock somebody had changed. Now I love locking tuners, but whatever locking tuners they put on didn't match up. So there's screw holes in the back of the headstock, and I found that just kind of like. But so then I sort of just decided to kind of not mess with that, and then it was gone, and then I got a notice. Now it's on there. Came back on at $545.
Really interesting.
Yeah, and there's been guitar after guitar after guitar. I think these guitars are stupidly overpriced. These Hamer standards, it's a very cool guitar.
Sure,
but it's a fucking Hamer. It's not a fucking. You're trying to pretend like it's a Gibson.
Yeah.
Stop. Just because it's old doesn't mean it.
Right.
Just calm down.
Right.
Yes, they're nice guitars, but simmer down. They're $3,200 for. Get the fuck out of here. That guitar's not worth it.
Yep.
But a couple of those that I was just watching out of curiosity, how were when people wanted $2,700. I basically hit the little heart button because I thought they were beautiful guitars. I was just kind of watching.
Sure.
I wasn't really personally interested in buying. I just want to kind of see what happens.
Yeah. See what happens.
And just gone, sold. You missed your opportunity. Blah blah blah. And then a couple weeks ago, came back on for like $1,700. Big $700, $800, $900, $1,200 prices off on things.
Interesting.
Yeah. You know what guitars I think there's one on there and I'm thinking about buying it.
Yeah.
It's one of those there's some Japanese Les Pauls that are very highly regarded. Orville's, Grecos, and some of the
Orville is a Gibson. Basically,
okay.
Yeah.
So but there's a Greco on there with set neck and everything. So it's a burst that is clean as fuck, and it's like $600, $700, $650, something like that. And it was on there before at like $1,400.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's still sitting there. I thought it'd be gone. Very quickly. I'm like, I'm going to like this, but it's going to be gone, in 15 minutes. And no, it's still sitting there. It's interesting. The ones that are bolt on, I'm like, I would never consider. But a set neck, and that's a highly the Grecos and the Orvilles, and there might be another one that are considered no, these are really good. The Takai made a Les Paul.
Yep.
It's dead nuts. It's supposed to be really nice. Yeah. There's a Takai on there for a ridiculous price though. We'll see how long it sits.
Montoya.
Yeah. Well,
Montoya, $1,700.
I told you there was a Cortez on there. It was my first guitar.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that we could be in a kind of soft market for used guitars at the moment. We could be.
I hope so.
We could be.
I hope so. I need an SG, an Explorer, or a Flying V. Any of those, or even a Fire.
Did you watch the 5-Watt World artists that made the 335 great or something? I
haven't seen it yet. I've saved it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I watched it, but I must have fallen asleep because I don't remember it. Oh. That's no reflection on the 5-Watt.
5-Watt's fantastic.
It was probably just turning it on late at night or falling asleep.
Yep.
I fall asleep to YouTube all the time. This is just real quick. Over the past few months, this past year, I really settled into how I need to practice.
Okay.
And I always kind of felt like I was being lazy, but then I just realized, no, you're not being lazy. You're working with the tools that you have. Your time and your own mental, your own attention span and things like that, and what you like to do and what interests you, etc. So I've just started to realize that part of my musical journey I've become like a solid practicer, which I never was in my whole life. But I had to practice. I had to do it in my own way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a so and I thought that like, okay, that's weird. That's, I could never like, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody or whatever. And then, but I was going like, but it really worked for me. I've really improved. There's lots of stuff I could not do. This stuff I couldn't do 2 weeks ago. Like, it's
nice.
really like, So, but I thought like, okay, you're just weird, whatever. And then I watched a cool video where a guy was talking about like something like 6 myths guitar players believe. And one of them was like, they subscribe to these practice routines like that are either on YouTube or in the guitar magazines. Remember when we were kids?
Yep.
Steve Vai's 18-hour guitar workout.
Right.
You're like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, nobody could live up to that. He was talking about like you have to just and I was thinking about, I'm like, well, okay, that's kind of like, okay, so I'm not crazy. There's some other people in the world that think like
feel that way.
I do. I actually saw a blog one time by a guitar teacher, and people were asking him questions about how he teaches and stuff, and somehow it came up like, what do you do with kids that like you have a hard time getting to practice? And he says I tell them to practice for 4 minutes a day. Okay. And here's what happens. And this guy is very wise. That sounds crazy, right? But 4 minutes is about the time it would take a beginner to maybe get through a song they were working on.
Right.
Okay. Here's what happens. Here's what happens. It's like they've done studies on this. There's a great book called The Willpower Reflex, The Willpower Instinct, by Kelly McGonigal. You should absolutely read that book. But what we've learned is that there's something about us that when we start to do something, that's the biggest problem. Getting started. So, and then when somebody says do something for 4 minutes, you can go like,
oh, I can handle that.
4 minutes. Like, even a kid, because what you say to the kids, like, look, I want you to practice literally less than 5 minutes a day.
Right.
Like, that's like the lowest barrier to entry
you
can find. Well,
okay. I can do that.
No problem. 4 fucking minutes, I can do that. You know what I mean? As long as I can watch TikTok. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't have to be super regimented. It has to be your own system in your mind. You have like what you're working on, how you do it. And so one of the things I've been like just bound and determined, like, every time you think you know the neck, you find out you don't know the neck. Like there's some other thing you need to unlock. And so like I was nailing it, of course, with the scales, and I was nailing it with, the major and minor arpeggios. I know those sideways.
Sure.
And so I could hit all the notes from the chords as I'm playing, and everything. But where I was falling down, where I had not explored yet, the nooks and crannies I had not dug into yet really well. And they were lurking around in my mind, and they were kind of like, get away from me. Like, I know you, I know I need to learn you, but I can't deal with you right now. Are the notes that are sort of in between the chords. So as the chords are changing, there's guys that make really good use of this. Guys like Larry Carlton and Robin Ford make really good use of this. Even rock guitarists like Elliot Easton make very good use of this. And it's so these involve. So I've been like working on. I don't want to get too technical. I'm dialing myself back for a second because I'm about ready to launch into a whole thing, which I'm not going to get into. I'm about to give a music theory lesson. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but just say that like I latched on to this other idea, and it involves really understanding and learning all the diminished arpeggios, and so I have been exploring that. So that's like part of what, but I'm doing it like diligently. And I'll tell you guys, like, if you want to learn anything on the guitar, I would tell you that like the last thing I would do, if you're already to the point where you can play a little bit,
sure,
you know what I mean, you kind of know the basics, you can kind of get it. I would say you just dig into YouTube. Just dig into YouTube. You don't have to pay for anything. You can do it completely fucking free. It's all there. The only time I would pay anybody is if I wanted personal interaction.
Right.
You know what I mean? I really needed so and so. I really felt like I would really advance if so and so could evaluate my playing like as I was playing. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff I think is a very good value. I would not discourage you from doing stuff like that. But if you say you want to learn, how to understand the neck, or you want to learn to you want to learn how to play blues, or you want to learn how to play metal, or you want to learn how to shred or whatever like that, like literally watch there's a gazillion videos on it, watch all of them. Because what ends up happening is you don't just pick one teacher. This is a mistake I think some people make. They pick one teacher. There's no need to. Why? There's like a million of the greatest guys in the world teaching you. Like, don't you want to learn from all of them? You know? Because what happens is they might be side by side teaching the same thing, that maybe the same technique or the same idea or whatever like that. But one of them explains it in one way, another explains it another way, and it's that getting all those different ways of understanding it is what makes you understand it. So that Joe Schmo understands it in a certain way, and John Smith understands it in another way, but you might put the two things together in your mind and go like,
it clicks for you.
Stuff is clicking now, And sometimes somebody will say something that another guy won't say, and it really just opens it up. So I mean, I suspect that this is probably not just true of guitar. I suspect this is probably true of business and all kinds of things. You could, if you be like knuckle down and just, we're like a dog with a bone, and you were going to learn whatever. I think you could probably go really far with YouTube. Like really far. There's just so much free information.
You kids today have it easy.
And then of course off YouTube stuff like Google. I mean, there's articles and music and tabs and stuff, whatever. So let's talk about some of our predictions. These are in full disclosure. These are not Mr. Pittsburgh's. You may chime in with your thoughts.
Yeah. I will. I'm going to be color
commentator.
Commentator, yes. Not colored.
My colored commentator.
Oh, see, I knew it was going to go there. Honky! Honky the clown. Honky, he goes with you when you explore. Just pull his leash.
Wow.
Go for a walk. He's your clown for sure. Do it, Honky!
Check out like Honky jamming with you, man.
I know, I like it.
Honky and his old lady.
There you go.
I was like, anyway, so we got to get to the topic. So I think that the music, one of the things that there seems to be a common thought out there is this sort of continued shrinking of the music business. There's not, like, when we grew up, there was like dozens of record labels.
Right.
You would remember it was in the center, we would buy the album and it was in the center. Casablanca,
right,
whatever,
Atlantic.
MCA, Atlantic. There was all these, and all the divisions, IRS. I have some records on the IRS label. There's tons. And if I didn't name your favorite, we're sorry. This is,
So sorry.
Look, we already jerked off for an hour, so we have to kind of get through this.
Yeah.
But so one of the predictions is that this is actually going to continue to shrink and homogenize, and I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, that's what it's been doing for decades. Since we went to the online. Since Napster was really, I saw an interview with a guy today. He's in a band called Monuments, and he was talking about they work with some bands that were like on that gravy train before they were just at the end of it,
right.
before the digital thing really took over, and they really are like depressed.
Yeah, well,
younger guys know what the business is and what they have to do, and they just do it. Like this guy's like he's got his own guitars, like Rob Chapman. You know Rob Chapman?
Oh yeah,
sure. What I mean, like this guy's kind of similar in the same way. He's got his own guitars. He has this like online teaching thing. Like, I mean, it's like he's always like you have to do. That's what being a musician today is. In any case, so in terms of shrinking business, not shrinking in the sense because you're going to find out that like there's other things that are really going to explode here. just shrinking in terms of the support that you're going to get from any kind of like big record label. That's just going to, and they're going to be way more frugal. They're going to be way more frugal and they're going to only want to take chances on people that they have absolute control of, that they can absolutely groom, etc. The creator marketplace, we're kind of in the middle of this. Pre-pandemic, people were predicting that like over the next 10 to 15 years that like this was going to be the biggest part of the market, or we're going to be content creators.
Right.
And the pandemic sped that up. We're like 5 years ahead of schedule. On that, because of the pandemic, people were at home. They had
nothing else to do, so let's create content.
I mean, one of my favorite YouTube channels started on TikTok during the pandemic. Mr. Ballin.
Oh yeah,
so he's the guy. You know, he started, and it picked up because people were bored, didn't know what to do. So
I'm gonna watch this.
Yep. So you're gonna see more of that, and musicians that decry that or don't want to, you're gonna have to either join them or go do something else.
Exactly.
AI is going to become a bigger player. Music creation. This is going to make music creation and music marketing even faster and more effective. As I was researching this, I got interested in an app called Splice.
Okay.
Which is promising, really. Like the technology is moving so fast that the things you're going to be able to do, I guess, with some of these what we're using here, we're using a system called a piece of software called Reaper, and it is a desktop audio workstation. And this is how the music business, people have been making music for the past 20 years or so. Okay. This is exclusively how people have been making music for the past 25 years. However, apps are coming along that make all the stuff that these things do that much faster, that much easier. You can stay, and what it is for musicians, and it's not lazy. This is the thing where I think stuff where technology really is super beneficial to music. What happens with technology is very often it gets in the way of your flow. You've got to stop. Press this and take that and drag this over here and
right.
I mean, the old days you had to think about like, okay, that song, that verse needs to be doubled. Okay, so where is that on the tape? And you got out a magic marker,
right?
And you had
marked it on the tape.
Can you imagine how that interrupts what you're doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know. I just want to put this here, right here, and I want to continue working. I want to continue. I'm coming up with melodies, and I have an idea, and I got to cut tape. It's going to take an hour, whatever.
Yep.
So that's what the workstations have done for, compared to tape. Well, apps are going to be, are going to be a big part of how people are going to be making music, maybe even bigger than workstations. I mean, this is really, there's so many options, but the Splice app, I like the Slice app too. Slice app is great, man. Not every pizza place is on Slice. That's the only bummer about it. But Splice. No, anyways, Splice. There is a Slice app. That is a real thing.
Okay.
But Splice looks really interesting, and I'm going to definitely sign up for it and fuck around with it. It's a place where what people are doing is they are uploading and then purchasing samples, and you can request samples, and you can ask for it to be at a certain speed and a certain key, and there's people that they're going back and forth, like it's like an elaborate file sharing thing. It's something that like the fucking man hasn't like picked up on yet and started fucking with people over. So hopefully. That's not good.
Knock on the wood.
But AI is going to be a bigger player. It's going to make music creation and music marketing faster and more effective. This leads me to my next thing: is more done-for-you marketing services. And this is the new thing. When I was working with Joe Freeman a few years ago, we were like, it seems to be like going in that direction of done-for-you, because like nobody wants to sit and write a marketing piece. They want to fucking write music. Right. They want to develop that game. They want to produce that, whatever that art, whatever they want to do. They don't want to design a piece of fucking marketing. And this is coming out of AI. That there's going to be a lot of marketing services for musicians out there. They're going to allow them to do things in ways that nobody's been able to ever do before, and make it more personalized. This is the name of the game. When you get a text on your phone from some artist, and it really sounds like he's talking right to Pittsburgh, Kevin.
Right.
You're gonna feel
oh man,
nice.
I'm in touch with this guy.
Yeah, you're gonna feel way more connected. It's an election year, so there's gonna be a lot of get ready.
Oh boy,
a lot of political rhetoric from musicians. Something we love, just love. That's my favorite.
I love it.
I just fucking love it. I
You
heard
want to stop the show now, and I want to tell you something.
Oh no. Oh.
I think that it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine on Twitter. It's fine on places like that. But don't stop the show and don't make me go to a fucking political rally. I mean, I saw I'm gonna digress. Me?
What?
I digress. I never digress.
No, never.
But speaking of the political thing, there is a Rock Rage Radio posted. Somebody, they were talking about albums. They were like, name an album that you haven't listened to in a really long time. You went back and you were like, wow, what a great album.
Okay.
And the guy said The Division Bell. He posted a picture of The Division Bell by Pink Floyd. There's nobody so far has discussed the actual topic of that post. Everybody's talking about The Division Bell by Pink Floyd. And it is a kind of polarizing album. It is the divorce between David Gilmour and Roger Waters. It's a culmination of that. And I think, in my opinion, when I heard that record, I was no doubt in my mind who the real musician, the guy with the real musical vision for Pink Floyd is David Gilmour, not Roger Waters. Roger got lost. He got political. He got pissed off. He's like, it's like they're carrying around a playground spat. For 40 fucking years. And I don't get that impression from David Gilmour. You look at David Gilmour's output, all the stuff that Pink Floyd did without Roger Waters, a lot of it is really, really good. Maybe it's not your personal favorite Pink Floyd stuff, but I'm sorry, man. I think the final cut sucks. I think that they were right to split ways with Roger Waters at that point. I know there's people that love that album, but I think that album sucks. It's not cohesive. It's not how can I put it? There's a lot of great playing. It's like those movies with great moments, but I don't think it comes together.
Can't carry
at
the
all.
whole movie
or
album.
And in their defense, they were coming off the wall, which was, what do? You put out the fucking Dark Side of the Moon, then a few years later, which is one of the great, it's still on the charts,
Exactly.
And then you put out The Wall, which blew everybody's mind with this huge movie with Alan Parker, and it's fucking great. So how do you follow that up? I get that. I get that the final cut was probably doomed as a release, but anyways, I think that you're going to see. Let me finish my thought about Pink Floyd real quick. But my sort of opinion is David Gilmour and his and Mason and those guys, they were the real Pink Floyd, and Roger just lost his way. There's a guy. There was one comment. Now there might be a million more by now, but there was one guy just like this is the biggest piece of shit album ever. I called it every name, called it everything but a white man.
Yeah,
as they
wow.
say. Just went crazy on it. So anyway, so I think that his rhetoric, his political rhetoric is just go back to making great music, Roger, because you are talented. I don't know what you're doing. I think we're going to see more issues with streaming services being scrutinized, not just in the music business, but in the entertainment business. What's happening is the numbers don't fucking add up. There is this thing that happened in the this postmodern business model of just build and build and build and build. We'll worry about profit later. Just keep building, keep building. That isn't going to hold. You don't have any real fucking substance if you don't have real profits. And Disney, I think Facebook, Netflix has been profitable spottily here and there, but you can't. Scorsese worked with them on The Irishman, right?
Right.
Okay, and he was they had to make all kind of like financial concessions. Like that would have been, if that was something they were releasing in a theater and there would have been tickets sold and everything like that, you know what I mean? There's a potential to make a lot of fucking money.
Sure.
But they made it on Spotify and Netflix, excuse me. They made it on Netflix, and it's like, I don't know, like you and I disagreed, I think, over the CGI with the faces. Remember they
making them younger, de-aging. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess I just was really into the story and I didn't really think too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, that's a big expensive project for people who are only paying $13.99 a month,
right?
And not $13.99 a movie,
right? It's a month.
It's a month.
Yeah.
I think that Netflix and some of these companies are going to have to rethink their model, and I think we're going to be looking at some point, either at that $14.99, you're still going to have to watch a few commercials.
I just heard a report on that.
I think you're going to have to. I don't think that there's any way that they can continue doing that. And then what they should do, see, Amazon does it right. Amazon like makes you rent or buy the movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now, it's not super expensive. It's $3.99 or whatever.
But still, they're getting revenue for that movie. They're getting revenue
for it. Yeah, and that's about the price of a rental was when you went to the video to Blockbuster, except you don't have to leave and it's all digital. So there's no real manpower involved on their part. So, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably being solid there. I think you're going to have to do more of that. Like, I don't think you're going to have to if you want no commercials, you're going to be spending like $70, $80 a month or something. Yeah. This is why HBO and all that stuff were so fucking expensive. People complain our cable bills were $600.
Yeah,
whatever.
well,
That's because like that shit all costs money to make, and they have to actually go and license it, and it's big fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
People have just gotten used to the fact that it's the internet. So and here's what's happening with the internet. This is a prediction. This is a wish.
Okay.
For 2024.
All right.
Is that we get the next internet. Because the internet is no longer the internet. The internet's television.
Yeah, basically.
It's just basically television. We have a few channels. You've got Google, Facebook, a couple, you know what I mean? You got you know what I mean? And that's it. And if you're not interacting with those, like, you're shit. Then you're channel 53.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So we need the new, whatever it's going to be, that's going to be the new sort of Wild Wild West.
Yes.
Where people can kind of like experiment and do different things, stuff like that. That's my wish. But anyway, so I think these streaming services are going to continue to be scrutinized. Spotify did this thing at the end of 2023 where they said if you didn't have so many downloads, you weren't going to get any revenue, and stuff like that. I think more with AI, I think you're going to see more of this separating stems from classic recordings and remixing and stuff like that. And I think what you're going to end up with, and I'm going to tell you, I agree. Some of my contributors today were Music B Sharp, Terrence Fisher, and Full Stack Creative. And Music B Sharp, he says to be prepared for new music from Led Zeppelin, new music from Nirvana, and bands like that. Like, be prepared.
Okay. Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
Now, some of those groups, their people are still alive, may not sign off on it, but somebody's going to fucking do it. Be prepared for people who are dead to start making music again.
Wow.
Get fucking ready for it. It's going to fucking happen.
Wow.
Because, I mean, once they did that Beatles thing and they showed they did all kinds of stuff, they could take anybody's old...
look what we can do.
Yeah, they could take anybody's old... and now that software is available. I can get that software on my phone and do that.
Wow.
And so...
We ain't got to do podcasts no more. We just have AI do it.
Well, that's another thing with AI. There's a algorithm that they're working on that will read people's reactions to sounds and stuff, so that like they will no longer will people need to have a curator that I don't think it's ever going to go away because people want to get together and talk about music.
Exactly.
That's all we're doing. So I'm not so sure that like that's So you're gonna. I think that we're gonna see some of it. Get ready for some of that. Right. Also, this is really wild.
Yeah.
Because, and I think this might be a little ways off for movies, but some people are all predicting that this year we're going to see fan created music. Not, let me hear me out.
What?
Not like kids who want to be musicians in their bedroom. Like,
okay.
But you're going to have apps. They're gonna allow you to remix the song to your personal liking.
Oh, okay. I remember back in the early days of CD-ROM, Peter Gabriel released one of his albums, and it was set up that you put it in your computer and you can mix the album yourself. That was very cool. I wish I would have gotten it, but of course, what would I do with it now?
Yeah.
There's no CD drives anymore.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a really cool concept.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to do stuff. And I've been, because AI can do so much, you could say like, yeah, that's great, but I'd like to hear Ronnie James Dio sing it.
Exactly.
You could do stuff like that. I think that's you're gonna, and I think when this technology becomes available, to where it's inexpensive and easy to use for movies and television shows, I think you're going to So, say you didn't like the Star Wars sequel series,
right?
You can completely make your own. We can fix that.
I'm gonna fix that.
And so there's going to be all these versions. And how are we going to know what the real shit is?
I know.
It'll be crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. I don't know. My mind is exploding. My mind is a whirling vortex.
Yes. I see that now.
Okay.
I was wondering what was happening over there.
What would you do if you could remix your own? Are there any albums you would say?
No,
yeah, I'd fix this. I'd change.
No, because I come from that. I'm old school, and that album was that album.
I would tell you right now, if it comes out and it's inexpensive and easy to use, I will definitely try it out.
Oh,
I'll definitely try. I'll do it right here on the podcast. The song catalog bubble. This is. I thought this was the biggest, what the fuck? This is my WTF, more than the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the Grammy Awards or anything. This is my biggest WTF in music. I don't think we've ever talked about it on the podcast. So these artists are selling off their catalogs to corporations.
Correct. Yes.
You know what I mean? What did Dylan, 20-some million or something like that, get for a catalog? And I'm like, how in the hell, in a world where music is essentially free,
right?
Are you expecting to fucking make any kind of return on investment on that?
I know.
And now it's starting to people who are in economics, or who were studying economics, now they're actually putting up their hands and saying, "Excuse me." This, and it's like this build profit.
Get this catalog, get that catalog.
Yeah.
That's great. You got it. Now what are you going to do?
Exactly. And there is okay, yeah, right. People still do buy sheet music. And some of these songs are definitely going to get licensed for things like television and movies and commercials and things like that. That's going to, but not all of them.
Yeah. But are you going to get your money back?
Are you really going to get your No, that's never going to. I was listening to the podcast, the Full Stack Creative podcast today. And the one cat had, actually done math. This guy's pretty. One guy they're both. They're both smart guys, but the one guy's the more kind of does the he's always adding shit up, and he's adding shit up. But he was working. He worked the numbers a bit. And he was talking about it could take him in today nothing changes.
Yeah,
it would take them 17 years to break even on Dylan's catalog. If all goes well.
Yeah. and his popularity is going to decrease over time.
Absolutely.
Kids today don't know who Dylan is.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah. I mean, these are
Dylan was brilliant then selling his catalog.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
What the hell am I going to do with it?
He's like these people are idiots. Sure. You give me $20 million.
Stupid. Oh man.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
New song. Okay. So we talked about new songs created for AI using
right.
I think that young people are still going to. I agree with Music B Sharp. He was saying that young people are going to still continue to discover old music.
Oh yeah.
I think that no matter what happens, and I think we're seeing this over and over. And with some of the, I found some really cool artists. I had to pick who I wanted to play tonight. But the band we're gonna listen to here in a few minutes is Large Mirage. Fan-fucking-tastic. Young guys who can sing and play.
Tell him Large Mirage.
It's obviously
yeah,
a joke on that.
yeah.
So we're going to talk about but young people. And over the years, I know, what was it? What song was a Fleetwood Mac song was on the charts again this year? There's been a couple times this past year where
old songs come back because of
Do you remember when I think this was like right before the pandemic? It was a commercial. The Johnsons have a rat problem, and it was
Rat, the band,
and that song ended up on the chart, round and round, ended up on the charts again.
Because kids are like, that rocks. That's kind of
cool.
good. Yeah.
So little things like that are going to happen. Kids are going to continue to do that. You're gonna hear young guys, learning about Neil Young and Led Zeppelin and all sorts of things like that. Nirvana and Soundgarden and the White Stripes and stuff. They're gonna because see, here's what's happening with all this technology. The pendulum is swinging. It always does. This is new. This is exciting. Let's do it. Eventually things kind of
goes back and forth.
It evens out a little wee bit. It will even out. I think that people that are kind of throwing babies in the air and saying the sky is falling are just simmer down. Simmer down.
You heard it here first. Simmer down.
But the pendulum is still swinging in that way. But you're always going to have that pushback. And as the more that happens, the more you're going to find people that want to hear, oh, wow, that's what real singing is, or that's what it sounds like when there's four guys in a room playing instruments together.
Yeah.
Some proof of that is, and this is a huge series. It's on both on different versions of it, or on YouTube and TikTok, where they play songs for people that have never heard the song. And people even from demographics
reactions.
You might not associate liking that music, and there's people love this music. It's very telling.
That's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. So I predict that's gonna kids are gonna continue to play. I predict that people are gonna still play the guitar. There's gonna be guitar music is not going away. It's gonna thrive. Ticketmaster's gonna hit the wall. I think we're poised for some big band to be like, no, thank you.
Right.
No, thank you. We're going to go rent the Goo Goo Dome ourselves. I could see like a band, this band won't do that because they're not real punks. They pretend to be punks.
Right.
U2. But that's a band that has the kind of muscle that could be like, we're just going to go rent the Goo Goo Dome, and sell our own tickets, and and I think it'll take one band doing that,
right?
Green Day, somebody that ilk, somebody big to do that, and then it's going to bust Ticketmaster, and they need to be busted.
Yeah, they do.
That's stupid. There's probably 4 people working at Ticketmaster. There's nothing. It's all fucking digital. Get the fuck out of here. I understood when you had to have a lady waiting on a bunch of obnoxious teenagers.
Ticket counter. Ticket
what was
window.
it? Gimbals or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those they deserve to be paid big money.
Yeah, right.
And the tickets back then were like $14.
Yeah.
An expensive concert was like $40.
You're like, whoa.
You know what I mean? I was like, wow, man, I got to really save up for that. I still think we're going to have these crazy reunions. One more reunion. One more tour.
Yeah.
So before we finish this section up, I'm going to be kind of morbid here because I never stray away from that. I'll just let it all hang out. Do you want to do a Deadpool?
Yeah, I can't. I saw that on your list, and I'm like, I can't really think of it.
Oh, I can think of a whole bunch of people.
Let's be honest. Keith Richards never going to die. So
he's on my list.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on my list. I just saw when they released their new record, they did like this little thing in a little theater for a live audience, and him and Ronnie and Mick were all interviewed. Keith looks really
slowing down. Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
So he's on my Deadpool. Ozzy is definitely on my Deadpool. I don't think that, but I think we're looking. We could get surprised, and it could be Mick. But those guys, man, they're really on borrowed fucking time. Willie Nelson is on my Deadpool.
Sure.
He's like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't.
He's up there.
I mean, God bless him. God fucking bless him, man. But like,
Yeah. You know, I saw a recent video of Angus Young. And he's just like walking down the street, and I'm like, who's that little old man? You know. But somebody asked him a question. It's the same thing you were saying about Keith. Like, his answer wasn't that old Angus sharp wit. It was kind of more like, I'm sorry, an old man.
yeah.
Where he had to think about what he was going to say. Not that he was worried about it, but he had to think about what he was going to say. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's you know, you were going to lose some people this year. I mean, you know, I think a couple people went a little too soon back in the day. I think Prince, David Bowie, and Tom Petty was all that was a little. We could have used you guys a little bit longer.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but yeah, you know, they're going to, you know, somebody, you know, and then what's going to be funny is, you know, somebody who's like 175 years old dies. Everybody goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's gone!" I'm like,
dude, I wasn't aware he was still alive. So there you go.
He's still. Did you ever? Speaking of, he's still alive. Did you ever see the documentary on Netflix about Paul Williams?
Yes.
Like, you're still alive?
Yeah, you still. Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, we need to. So Kevin,
Okay.
Mr. Pittsburgh brought in a. So check it out. I don't know what you guys predict. I don't know. I mean, I'm just having a little fun with this. It's interesting to postulate. There's no,
Right.
you know, I don't know.
What
Crystal
will
ball.
happen in the next
But
year?
we'll see. I mean, and we could be completely surprised.
Yeah.
So the speed of light.
Is the name of the band?
Teeth.
Teeth is the name of the song.
I did not.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
I don't think I pasted the link.
You
yet.
did
That's
not
okay.
paste the link.
That's okay. We can always do this. Or we have friends that can help us over here.
Yeah, because they're very nice.
They're nice people. We're going to just paste.
That's just like back in kindergarten.
I have a question.
Only you can't eat
I
this
have
paste.
a real question.
Oh,
I have a very
really?
serious question. Yeah.
Yes. Go
First
ahead.
of all, why won't that search? There we are. Is there a difference? I always want to know this. Maybe I will
Yes.
learn it today.
All right.
On the first day of the year 2024, maybe I will
Sure.
finally learn this. What is the difference? And this isn't a rhetorical question. I really want to know the answer.
Okay.
What is the difference between glue and paste?
I think glue is more liquidy. If you remember, the paste would come a little, and you had like a little thing.
So the difference is the viscosity, or that's the
That's
word I want. Viscosity
right.
is not maybe the right
viscosity. Yeah.
word. The thickness.
Yeah,
you
because
know,
Elmer's glue you pour it out, where paste you had to like kind of dip it out with a little
Paste thing.
and
Paste
then
tool.
smear it on the paper or whatever.
You smear.
You smear. It's a
Smear. I love that word.
Smear test.
Remember there was a guy, he was a guitar player. His name was Pat Smear.
What do you mean was? Dude,
But
let's talk about
It's
Pat
very
Smear.
dangerously close to Pap Smear. Do you ever
Let's
realize
talk
that?
about Pat Smear. Pat Smear was in 3 iconic bands: The Germs, Nirvana, and now Foo Fighters.
Germs.
Ooh, gross.
It's disgusting. How dare you call yourself the
But anyways-
How dare you? How dare you? Speaking of how dare you, this is a band called The Speed of Light, featuring Han Solo
No. That'd be kind of cool.
and the
though.
Wookiee. Come on.
Crank it.
Yeah.
She plays bass.
Wait a minute. This is not Alice in Chains.
Well, no.
What's the Alice in Chains song that starts with, oh, da, 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 da.
Look, Lou, I'm drunk. I don't know what you say.
And up to the moon. Listen to this. I'm live on a podcast, and I'm like doing.
Come
this.
on,
I'm
Kim, what's the song?
You know, hey Michelle, can you get a song on for lunch?
It goes like this.
I don't know who sings it. I don't know who words, but it goes kind of like.
There's this Light of the City in the song, and she'll know it. That's the funny thing. All right, here we go.
I think I'm thinking of Wood by Alice in Chains.
Oh, okay.
Shut up.
You don't know.
Shut up.
You don't.
Don't force your story on me. Not gonna be who you want me to be. I'm me, fortunately. Don't put your boring on me. Rest in peace. Don't want your smile.
I like that modern hard rock type of song, but with a punk kind of attitude. You know, she's really good. She's great. Do we know anything about her?
No.
We don't know who's
kids.
These kids today. They do have a link to their TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And that's
I
important.
think there's a Facebook link here too.
Facebook link.
Facebook. Facebook. It's online. If you're looking for some friends you met in high
That's
school.
enough.
What?
We're done. We're done. We're not doing this. That's not going to work out. It's going to go very badly. How about the about button? Wow. Here's the about button. Nothing. Well, wait a minute.
Wait,
There's
wait,
a .com.
There's a
Why
website.
don't you put
Let's
the
go.
.com in your description on your YouTube?
These kids today don't know nothing about the internet.
Oh, God, these kids. I'm firing my marketing team.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Speed
pretty
Light.
cool.
Okay, they've got some cool photography.
Uh-huh.
They play the Paramount on December 8th.
That's great. Yeah. Punk in the park.
Punk in the Park.
Punk.
It looks like they might be on a little bit of a vacation.
Sure. Well, for the holidays, you know.
Home live
Store
store. Where's
contact.
like the bio? Where's like who's in the
my God,
band?
don't these kids know?
Come on, guys! I'm trying to do a fucking podcast here. Store live. You see anything that says bio?
No.
Okay, this is the home.
We're trying to help you. Help us help you.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Speed of light.
Anyways, you guys are okay, man. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
have to say, like, you need to work on that marketing. But the song is fucking great.
Yes.
But I would love to have read something where I could have said, well, this album is out or whatever.
Yeah, they're from this town or that town or this other town.
I
or,
know, Mr. Pittsburgh.
I know. I'm sad.
What can you say? I mean, like, you know,
very
I
sad.
try. You do all I can to help people out. You know what I mean?
try, and this is how they repay you. These kids
I know.
today.
So I want to talk about this band here.
Large Mirage.
Oh, again, is this we have to go to
Face Place.
face? Yeah, but gay book.
Hey,
Not this. Okay, Mr. Pittsburgh and I were talking about this.
we were
There's gay.
sure.
Like if you're gay, a person.
Right.
But then there's gay.
Like
You know
happy.
what I mean? Like that. No, there's that too. But then there's gay. Like that's gay. Even gay people will say, "You're really being gay." You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not getting into this conversation.
But what I'm saying is like, you should have like some easy way for us to know who and where you are. Okay, like this. You know what I mean?
I think that they should wear little tiny stars on their uniforms. That way we know who they are. Thank you.
Honky
Honky agrees.
Your peppers, please.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they should have their bio and stuff out so you can check out who.
Oh,
they
you're
are.
talking about the bands. I thought you were talking about our friends who happen to be gay.
Oh. No, my God.
See?
Mr. Pittsburgh,
I
thank
was
you, because
totally-
now I see how that could be completely
See?
misunderstood.
I'm glad I was
literally
able
wasn't
to-
saying that at all.
Oh, well, I think the band should wear little stars on their uniforms too. You know. But that's beside the
These
point.
guys are from Sydney.
Sydney.
This is a band called Large Mirage. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to cheat today.
Are you now?
And because I have two.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay, I have two pieces that I want you guys to hear.
Okay.
Because you could listen to a studio recording and go like, that's great.
Right.
But it's a studio recording.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and start, though. We'll start there. We'll start
Okay,
with
let's go with
studio
the okay, very
studio
good.
recording. This is called When the Morning Shines.
Okay.
By Large Mirage.
All right then.
I just want to say that this video looks like this. They look like a
Came
band
right out of the 70s.
No, even
What?
farther back, I think 60s. And
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
like actually what this intro reminds us, like the fourth or fifth time I've seen it. I'm thinking like this looks like a band that might be playing in one of those movies like with the Don Coscarelli horror films from the early 70s.
I don't know.
With the tall man and the ball that drills into your head. Phantasm.
Phantasm. Okay.
Yeah. Like this looks like this is
I need
this
more
looks like
information.
this like that there was a scene in Phantasm where there was a band playing.
Yeah,
and
this
they
would be it.
didn't make it into the movie.
Yeah.
That's what this looks like. So I hope that's exactly what this video looks like.
Oh my God! Look at that.
I mean, they're total 60'd out. They're
Yeah.
even all like grooving together.
The hair, the clothes, even the guitars and the amps.
Like him. There's time to make it fine, but now I don't want in. You took
That speaker cabinet he's playing through is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Wow.
up in my
It's almost like he went like, I don't care what it sounds like. It looks cool. It's
It
going
looks
it's
cool.
going-
I want it.
It's part of my rig.
Yeah.
clothes and drink up all my jeans. I tried to heal your soul and take some blame myself. I got you on the doll, said you were someone else. I'm tired, but I'm strong enough to see you through.
It's about to get way more interesting.
Okay.
It's great, but it's going to go to another level right here.
Okay.
Wake me up when the morning
Ooh.
shines where through.
Oh wow.
I feel the sun come mine. I don't have to think of you. Don't tell me how you feel, 'cause it don't mean a
So the female vocalist comes on stage.
Yeah.
And really takes it to another level. I would really just want to listen to the whole song. It's 6 minutes. It's fucking kick ass. Like, go check it out. Large Mirage. It's on YouTube. But just to show you that, like, there is that. That's done in a studio, and there's like the video. There's actually high production values in the video. It's really well done. But here is the same band
Okay.
singing into a cell phone.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh boy. Let's see how they sound.
helplessly hoping her harlequin hovers nearby, awaiting a word, gasping at glimpses of gentle true spirit. He runs, wishing he could fly, only to trip at the sound of goodbye. Wordlessly watching, he waits by the window and wonders at the empty place inside. Heartlessly helping himself to her bad dreams, he worries.
And wait here just a little bit more.
Hear a goodbye, or even hello. One person, they are two alone.
That's the drummer.
They are three
Bass player and singer.
together. They are for each other.
Wow.
I like that. Like, I'm a little choked up. Like, that's fucking amazing.
Yep.
That's like, fuck.
Wow.
Like, that
Large
is-
Mirage.
These are four fucking. They're called musicians.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
called fucking.
There's no auto tune.
Yeah, no.
There's no,
That's singing into a
not
goddamn
AI.
cell phone.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Aerosmith didn't sound that good when I saw them, at the fucking
Right.
Googleplex or wherever I went.
Googleplex. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's okay. I need a
All I
little.
gotta say.
Okay, we're gonna take a little. I need a little breath after that. I think I need a little drink.
Little drink of poo.
RockRageRadio.com. Download the free app. Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.com. That's where you find out all of our stuff and everything we have going on, and back podcasts and all kind of fun stuff like that. You can hear me insult other people of ethnic origins, not just not just you.
Yeah.
So please don't be offended.
No.
Like, I try to insult there. I'm an
mean
equal
nothing,
opportunity insulter.
Right? Exactly.
Okay, let's turn that. That's great. I want to hear it, but it can't be that loud. That's great.
No, come on now.
Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.com. And there's merch and all kind of fun stuff there.
Sure.
You get access to our private Facebook group where I've been doing more and more guitar videos. So check that out. What's happening?
Don't forget Wolfie.
Check out Wolf's Customs. Wolf's Customs online. I want to one of the things, like, I'm not big about New Year's resolutions, but like I said, I just want to have more fun. But one of the things, like, I do want to do is I want to make more decisions. I want to do a little less. There's a song by Hank Williams Jr. A little less talking, a lot more action. But I would say a little less thinking and postulating and about stuff, and doing a couple more
and
things.
actually doing
Yeah,
them.
like a lot of the fun that I had in 2023 was just kind of just like me. But I want to do stuff that like brings more people in. So that means more music and more things like that, So my band is looking to record and down here and everything. So that's we're gonna. I think we might start that as soon as this week. I don't know. We're gonna start very soon.
Cool.
And we are looking for. I just wanted to put this out there. I'm gonna post it in the Facebook musicians group for Pittsburgh. I want to find a drummer that will play with me and Mr. Pittsburgh on the podcast. I want to turn this podcast into a live band.
Yeah.
And to the point, like, this won't happen the first day.
No.
I think what I would like us to be able to do is, like, when we talk about a song, instead of me playing the thing,
we jam
like a riff of it. We jam 20 seconds of it or whatever. And then I do want us to perform a couple of songs each week, one at least, on the podcast as a band.
Yeah. So if you play the drums.
So we're looking for a drummer. How we're going to do it is you're going to play V drums. So you got to be cool with that. I'm not going to do live drums. That would be a nightmare of setting up and mixing. And you got to be able to sit in this little corner behind us.
Right behind us, right here.
So I think that would work out great, don't you? You're there with the bass. I'm here with the guitar.
Yeah.
We have microphones. We split guy on V drums back there.
Sure.
And also, dude, if you're cool with it, we'll set
or
it up.
dudette. Let's not be sexy.
When I say dude, when I say guys, that's non-gender.
Oh, it's all
specific.
inclusive.
Yeah, that's not. Just calm down. That's like I was thinking about that
or
today.
dudettes.
Here, let me tell you something that everybody. This shows like how people are just not paying attention. They had to change the intro to Star Trek from where no man has gone before to where no one has gone before, and that is not. Man in that context was not gender
Which is
specific.
mankind.
No, not even mankind. It's shortening for. It's a short of the word of human.
Oh.
It's human. It just means human. And by saying no one, that's like then that takes away this like. This is the idea of humans going out into space and exploring. And it's literally where no human has gone before. Okay, they said no man. It's just short for human. Okay, you didn't need to, Anyways, but
okay,
right. So when and just think about like
do that.
Exactly. Did you ever think that? Do you remember when the word "guys" started to become like
guys?
Yeah, people started to say "guys" all the time. Like all of a sudden, I started hearing like I heard my mom say, "Okay, guys."
Yeah.
Like I was like,
and it's like you and your sister.
Yeah, and we're still like everybody's guys.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like
Exactly.
just simmer down when I say that.
All right. But anyway, back to our drummer.
So, if you, but you got to be cool with playing, sim drums or whatever they call E drums or whatever, and you've got to be cool with, what might be cool too, and we could try this out, is we could even set you up where you can trigger the samples and stuff like that. So maybe we get a few more sound effects and things going. I think that would work better.
Very good.
So anyway, that is
Come join us.
We're really looking for somebody to do it. I want to do something different with this. I'm a musician, and I want this to include some of
we're funny like that.
playing some music.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Pittsburgh, is there anything else? Anything else you want to talk? Was there anything you're looking forward to in 2024? There's some movies I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the Dune sequel, which was supposed to come out in
I'm gonna have to go
November.
back and watch because I did watch it, and I remember going, it's gonna be a while before the next one comes out, so I'm gonna have to revisit the first one again before I watch the second.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And I know that it's a big silly movie, but
Yes.
I want to see. I've seen all the movies so far. The Godzilla, Kong X.
Oh,
Zilla,
okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So far out of that series, my favorite one is Skull Island. I think that's the best one. My pick. But anyways, so I'm definitely gonna go see that. I hope some more good stuff comes out. There's a Nick Cage movie out right now where it's an A24 and it's a comedy where he plays some character who's just like this kind of like nondescript middle-aged guy who people start dreaming about. He's just there.
Oh, I saw a clip of that.
There he's just there in the dream, and it looks really funny. It looks really funny. So
A24, I love A24. So
yeah, it's an A24. What did you think of Beau is Afraid? Did you see that? I talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, but I hadn't seen it.
With Joaquin.
Yeah.
Yes,
I have not seen it.
You should see it.
As soon as you saw Joaquin, I'm like, now I'm intrigued.
That movie's crazy.
Yeah.
It's as crazy. It's crazier, way crazier than Saltburn. Like, this is a crazy movie.
Yeah.
It's like an insane fucking movie. It's like kind of surrealism.
Okay.
You kind of don't know who's the guy from the Birdcage. Not
Nathan. Is it
Nathan.
Oh, what's his last name?
Nathan East. No, his name is not Nathan East.
Is Nathan even his first name?
Joe Nathan. Oh, goodness.
Probably there was some way.
I wish there was some way we could look it up.
Yeah, right. Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane.
Thank you.
Nathan Lane.
It actually came to me before we
That's
typed
your
it in.
name. So, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. He's in it. He's in it. So it's that's very bizarre. But so they do a lot of, and the A24 is like, they're like a kind of a breath of fresh air from Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I usually give it, although they have the one where the husband and wife have a fucking baby sheep or something like that. It's like, I've never seen it, but yeah. It's like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, she's in it?
I believe, is that her name? The girl from...
Yeah, Nomi Rapace.
Isn't she in the
she's
one who's
from
in the...
Prometheus, and she's from the girl with the dragon tattoo.
She's from Prometheus, yeah.
Yeah. I might watch it just to see her.
It's out there. I'd be interested. Keith was like...
I've heard about it.
Piece of shit I ever... He's great. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But I remember just being very like, oh, okay...
Yeah.
Did you ever see the one? It's the New Zealand film about It's something about Gary Matassa turned me onto it, and I resisted watching it because the premise is so fucking stupid.
Yes.
But it was wildly entertaining.
Yes.
It was about zombie sheep. I gotta have to text him and ask him what the zombie
I've never
sheep movie
seen
was. It's about zombie sheep. I'll find it and I'll tell you what it is. But it was like I resisted. I'm like, oh god, this is fucking dumb. But it was wildly entertaining.
Yeah.
You had to take it for what it was. It was,
Okay.
they were going for a certain thing and they achieved it. But the movie with Naomi Rapace and Naomi, is that her name?
Nomi, yeah.
Naomi Rapace, like in the sheep baby.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Wow.
What's even happening here? Y'all, I want those drugs.
Yeah.
This has been the first night
Yes.
in a very long time that I did not clear my throat one fucking time during the podcast.
You coughed once.
I coughed once, but I did not.
Oh, you did not clear your throat. That's right.
Yeah, my god's going. I mean, I listen to my podcast and I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not exactly sure why that is. I'm drinking and doing pretty much everything. Maybe I didn't. because
Yeah,
I didn't
that
do
might
that
be it,
thing over
yeah.
there. Maybe that
Maybe it
creates
dries
some kind of dryness or
yes,
something, you know.
yes, interesting.
So we save that to the end.
Captain.
So, all right, guys. As you can tell, we have other better things to do than to sit here and talk to your happy asses. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to 2024.
Yes,
it's a lot of
Happy New
fun.
Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Looking forward to we're going to keep our prediction for the podcast. We're going to just keep doing great podcasts.
Yeah.
But seriously, I would like to get a drummer in here
Yeah.
and just like do a little, this is something different. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I'm like ready to like, this is great, but let's, yeah. So keep that in mind. If you guys know anybody, let me know. I don't want to do a virtual guy. We could do that. I could probably talk Keith into doing it virtually, but I think like hooking that all up and everything is going to kind of be
technically
like it's going to be bad enough just to running drums.
Yeah.
Difficult enough, not bad enough, but just difficult enough to just run drums. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out.
Yes.
Mr. Pittsburgh, anything else you want to add or anything, anything so I said what I was looking for in I feel like I talk over you. I said what I was looking forward to in 2024. Is there something you're looking forward to?
Well, as you know, like I'm feeling much better. So I'm just looking forward to a year where I'm feeling good. It really, here's the thing that sucks. Me and winter do not get along. I hate cold weather. And here I am physically feeling better, but yet it's cold weather. So I have a feeling when spring hits and the warm weather returns, I'm going to feel so fucking good. It's going to knock your socks off.
Well, I will.
We're going to go out and do shit. We're going to go see bands. Not that kind of shit. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Here's all I'm going to say about that is like it's going to be here before you know it.
I know.
Do you ever notice like the older you get, the faster the time goes?
Yes, yes. And there's times that's good, like when winter, you're like, oh, I need spring. And then all of a sudden spring's here, you're like, oh. And then winter's here again. You're like, fudge. Only I didn't say fudge. I said the granddaddy of them all.
Granddaddy of them all.
Yeah.
On that happy note, have a very fudgy new year. And we'll catch you all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll.
We're waiting for the music to load.
Waiting for the music to load. Circus.